Welcome back, BBVians, to episode 7 of our 9-part explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because, well, we're looking at one of the most magnificent and ancient events on the entire planet. We're exploring the grand spectacle of the Ratha movement, that incredible annual journey where the deities travel from the grand temple on Bada Danda all the way to the Gundicha temple for their retreat. We're going to break down the sources and really look at the deeply layered meanings behind this massive physical procession. Okay, let's dive into this.
So, how does a wooden chariot journey hold the blueprint for world peace? It's a pretty bold question, right? But today, we're going to trace a truly fascinating narrative arc. We're starting with a massive physical spectacle witnessed by literally millions of people. Then, we'll zoom into a deeply personal, relatable human experience of divine grace. And finally, we'll zoom all the way out to this profound concept of cosmic consciousness, a concept that genuinely has the power to unite humanity.
Here is our visual anchor for this whole journey, the Holy Trinity. On the right, we've got Lord Jagannath, the Lord of the universe. Right in the center is Goddess Subhadra, and on the left, Lord Balabhadra. These siblings embark on this annual sojourn, actually leaving their permanent residence in the Sri Mandira to spend 8 days at the Gundicha temple. And as you probably know, they travel amidst an absolute sea of humanity. It's like a giant ocean of devotion, making themselves completely accessible to everyone, absolutely regardless of their background. Now, what's really interesting here is the specific names and the profound meanings assigned to these 3 chariots. Lord Jagannath's chariot is Nandi Ghosha, which literally translates to the call of bliss. Lord Balabhadra rides Taladwaja, symbolizing the glory of completeness. And Goddess Subhadra's chariot is Darpa Dalana, meaning the elimination of vanity. So you see, these aren't just massive wooden structures. Their very names are actual invitations to a higher state of mind as they make their way toward the Adaba Mandapa inside the Gundicha temple.
Section 1. Miracles of Mahaprasad at the Adapa Mandapa.
While the deities are seated on the Adapa Mandapa platform, the food offered to them is known as Adapa Mandapa Mahaprasad. And, let's look at a deeply personal story about this sacred food. Our source material includes this just beautiful, intimate anecdote from writer Panchami Manuho Ukyo. She talks about waking up one morning feeling kind of dull, which eventually turned into a severe headache. Because of this, she actually had to miss a Gita recitation she was invited to, and that meant she'd also miss out on partaking in the highly coveted Adapa Mandapa Mahaprasad. Feeling a bit nostalgic, she was reminiscing with her father about the Mahaprasad back in the 80s and 90s. Specifically, she remembered this delicious dish called Sapuri Kata. It's a sweet-sour pineapple chutney she hadn't tasted in over 3 decades. It had seemingly been replaced by pumpkin chutney in modern times, but she had this sudden, desperate longing for that forgotten flavor.
Well, that very evening, a miracle basket arrived right at her door. Her school's chairman, knowing her deep love for the Lord, had sent over a huge, fresh basket of Mahaprasad straight from the office. It was packed with incredible items. Ghiya arna seasoned with cow's ghee and raisins, sweetened kanika rice, potala dalma, tangy besara, and for dessert, the delectable kira. But as she scooped out the dishes, she noticed the chutney wasn't pumpkin. No way! It was pineapple. The all-knowing Lord had literally fulfilled her precise, passing craving for sapuri kata after 30 long years. It's such a stunning reminder from the source text that the divine walks with us, listening to even our smallest whims.
Section 2. A splendid cultural synthesis across diverse faiths. Let's move to Major and see how this builds.
You see, the personal grace Panchami experienced is just one small facet of a much larger tapestry. To truly grasp the sheer magnitude of Jagannath, we have to look at this incredible integration of deep historical and religious roots. From the tribal Sabara culture, we get the origin of the Daru Devata, or wooden deity. From Jainism, the 3 figures collectively symbolize the Triratna, the 3 jewels: perfect knowledge, conduct, and vision. From Buddhism, the prominently round eyes of the deity symbolize prajna, or supreme wisdom, and that jeweled pedestal is seen as a replica of Buddhist Triratnas. And finally, Brahmanism brings an entire synthesis of Saivism, Shaktism, and Vaishnavism right into the fold. So what's the result of all this? A living philosophy that promotes universal brotherhood and democratic inclusion over sectarian division. It embraces absolutely everyone.
Section 3. The Metaphysical Chariot, a Profound Metaphor.
We've talked a lot about the physical chariots, but what if those giant wooden carts are actually a profound metaphor for your very own human experience? And this brilliantly illustrates exactly that. The Katha Upanishad lays it out perfectly. The physical body is the chariot. The soul residing within you, that's the charioteer. Your senses are the horses pulling you forward, and your mind is the bridle used to steer. If there's a lack of coordination here, like, say, your mind drops the bridle, your sense horses are going to run wild, driving your life chariot way astray into suffering and despondency.
Which brings us to a really famous Sanskrit verse mentioned in our sources. Rathe tu vamana drishtva punarjanmana vidyate. Basically, when you see the vamana, the miniature form representing the divine soul, seated within the chariot of your own body, you are freed from the cycle of rebirth. What it means is that recognizing the supreme consciousness within yourself frees you from the worldly mesh. You suddenly realize that at the very core, this seemingly diverse, crazy world is actually driven by one self-same consciousness.
Section 4. The Journey to Peace and Universal Harmony. Okay, we've traveled from the crowded streets of Puri to a personal miracle, all the way to the realization of the soul. Now, we bridge the gap to world peace. So, the crucial point is this. Jagannath consciousness isn't just about ritual. It is a profound doctrine for sustainable global harmony. Think about it. When an individual uses their mind to bridle their senses and actually realizes the cosmic soul within their own chariot, they achieve inner peace. If everyone achieves this cosmic consciousness, it naturally combats religious bigotry, territorial disputes, and material greed. I mean, you can't hate your neighbor when you realize the exact same divine charioteer is navigating their journey too, right?
Now let's bring all this incredible universal energy right back home to our local community. For all our BBVians tuning in, just as the traditional festival concludes with a return journey and a stop at the Masima Temple, we have our own celebrations to look forward to. Our local BBV Ratha Jatra kicks off on Tuesday, July 16th, and please make sure to join us for the Community Bhog on Saturday, July 18th, right over at the BBV grounds. It's our chance to gather warmly, share a beautiful meal, and truly practice that universal brotherhood right here in our own backyard.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought to carry into your day. We've seen how a festival of chariots is actually a masterclass in cosmic unity and personal alignment. So take a moment today and ask yourself, what is the state of your inner chariot? Are your senses running wild, or is your mind firmly holding the bridle, driving you toward inner and universal peace? Thank you so much for exploring this magnificent journey with me. Keep learning, keep seeking, and we'll see you in the next explainer.